Actually, I should probably turn the music off. Let's turn the music off. Sorry, it's really late on Sunday night. It's technically early Monday morning, and my skin is terrible. Anyway, I've just finished one of my big essays that are due really soon because I'm about to graduate. And I thought I would just do my video now, seeing as I'm on a roll of productivity, even though it's 3:30 in the morning. Okay, so I should try and not be too loud because obviously, walls, thin walls, balls, stuff like that. Oh my god, okay, sorry, right. Down to business. So the topic this week is looking young, not looking your age. Is this a thing that happens to you? Does it bother you? And if so, how do you deal with it? Because obviously a lot of trans fellas, this is a widely known fact. Oh, my hair. A lot of trans fellas do not look their age. I suppose we're going through puberty much later than most people, so it makes sense that we would often not look our age. And also a lot of trans guys are quite small built, so that doesn't help, and things like that. So, sorry, this is kind of a strange angle. I'm let's see if we can fix this. Is that any better? Maybe? I don't know. God, I look terrible. I'm probably gonna wake up tomorrow morning and be no, cannot upload this. I'm delirious with tiredness and look like shit. But maybe not. We'll see. Okay. So here are my anecdotes about looking young. Yes, I do not look my age very often. Sometimes I'm fine. Depends kind of what I wear and what the context is. My 3 anecdotes that I have are a trip to the hairdressers a year ago, maybe a bit more than a year, bit more than a year ago, maybe about a year ago. Anyway, and I was chatting away to my hairdresser, and wondering whether I was passing or not, and being talking to her about exams coming up and stuff, and she was like, oh, so is it your GCSEs or your A-levels that you're doing? And I was simultaneously she thinks I'm a child, and also yes, I'm passing, but the way I dealt with that was I was just actually, they're my second year university exams, study up the road. And she was like, oh right, young for your age. I was yeah. Anyway, so in that context, I was just happy about it because it meant that I was passing. The next kind of anecdote like this is that I, for my 22nd birthday, I went to sorry, I've just been writing an essay about Ani DeFranco, so I'm saying that's not an Ani DeFranco gig. I went to an Amanda Palmer gig for my 22nd birthday, so October just gone, and and I got ID'd for the gig. Just hazard a guess at what the age restriction was. Wasn't 18 plus. Wasn't even 16 plus. The gig was 14 plus. And I got ID'd for it. And I was going for my 22nd birthday. So yeah, that was hilarious. And the hilarity of that is that I then had to show, a female ID. The only ID that I currently have is my very old provisional driver's license, which is from when I was 15 when you get that, so it's pre-transition, and obviously the name and everything is and I have long hair and wearing earrings. It's I either look okay, so you look at it and you realise I'm trans, or I just look like the most brazen fake ID user in history that I've just taken my sister's ID and been this will work, Anyway, so that was my second anecdote. My third anecdote is that I was off getting a blood test some time ago, a few months ago, whatever, and and the guy waiting in the pharmacy, some old fella, started having a conversation with me, and he was not in school today, no school today, and I was no, not today. And I thought that this would just be a white lie and that I would just be able to just like casually like let him think that I was a school kid and not make a big deal out of it. But then we got into this whole thing of him like asking me what I wanted to do after school and like whether I enjoyed sport. And just the lie just got out of control. It just snowballed, and I was like having to explain that I didn't like playing sport at school because, you know, I didn't hang out with the kids who played sport. They weren't like people that I got on with. And I was just like, oh, what am I doing? I'm lying to a pensioner. What's happened? Look at your life. Look at your choices. Yeah, that was funny. But anyway, yeah, those are my like not looking my age anecdotes from the last little while. But then my most recent one is that I bought a bottle of Jack Daniels from a newsagent's to like give to a friend, and the guy didn't even look twice, he didn't ID me, and I was like, and I think maybe it was just that I was so kind of like confident about it. I was just very like, I was expecting him to ID me, so I wasn't worrying about it. I was just like, had my hand on my ID, I was just like, okay, you know, talking to Jess while I was like doing it or whatever, and he just didn't even like he didn't look twice, he didn't ID me. I was like, do I look like I'm like 18 today? How exciting. Yeah, so that was that. I probably didn't, he probably just was like lazy or unobservant. But anywho, does it bother me? Not particularly, aside from the ID issue, which is just my fault, like, for being poor and not having gotten my passport sorted yet, because I do have a letter from my GP to get my passport fixed. So, but aside from that, once I have that sorted, and can just be like, yes, look, I am my age, without having to awkwardly be like, yes, I am my age, I look like this because I'm, like, trans, which is uncomfortable. That's the only thing that's uncomfortable for me, is having to show a female ID. Aside from that, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, you know, it's fine to look young. It'll be helpful when we're old, you know? I know that's the thing that everybody says to you when you, like, look really young. They're like, oh, it'll be great when you're, like, 50. And it sounds kind of silly, but, you know, it probably will. We probably will appreciate it when we're older and we look like youthful chaps. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. Sorry, this is almost 8 minutes long, and that I look like shit, and that I'm, like, rambling and delirious with tiredness. I apologize. Please come back next week. Love you lots. Stay cool. Bye. Oh, and welcome Finn. Yay, Finn. Woo! We got, like, 30 new subscribers since he joined. Somebody is famous. Yes, thank you for joining, Finn. You're really cool. I like your dancing. Okay, see you later, everyone. Bye.